With more cases being reported in the Middle East, and these cases being traced back to Iran, people who visited the country testing positive for the disease, there's growing concern about how Iran is handling the outbreak. Are they doing enough to try and contain it? Are they capable of doing enough considering the impact of U.S. sanctions on the country's healthcare? And are officials there being transparent about the scale of this outbreak? The issue here is really the figures that just don't add up. The mortality rate from coronavirus in Iran at this point is somewhere around 14 to 15%. That is significantly higher than the mortality rate in any other country and the global average. So there are concerns about why. What is causing this? Is there an issue with the screening? Are they screening all possible cases? Are people showing symptoms going to hospitals? Or is this a case of the secretive Iranian regime trying to downplay the severity of the situation? We heard from President Hassan Rouhani on Wednesday, trying to reassure people, telling them that the situation is under control, and slamming the United States, saying that it is trying to spread fear and panic amongst the population, and that the enemies of Iran, as he put it, are trying to use this virus as a weapon to destroy Iran's economy. But perhaps the most worrying statement from the president is so far authorities there, the government there, has not made a decision to quarantine any Iranian cities. And that is really putting pressure on countries in the region, neighboring countries, to step up their preventative measures to try and prevent an outbreak or the spread of this disease. For example, we've heard from the health minister in Turkey. So far, they say they do not have any cases of coronavirus, but saying that, you know, at some point that it could spread. What they're trying to do right now is delay the spread of the disease. Jumana Karachi, CNN, Istanbul.
You are looking at the new normal for many fast food restaurants in China. Customers entering this KFC, passing through the now standard temperature checks, walking up to a giant screen. They either transfer their order from their smartphones, thus avoiding touching the surface, or they type it in. As soon as they step away, an employee swoops in to disinfect. Some stores, like this Shanghai Starbucks, take away only. The goal? Keep people from gathering. This is the corporate side to stopping the spread of the novel coronavirus.
We have been having daily crisis meetings since the end of January.
We sat down with Yum China Holdings CEO Joey Watt. Her company runs some of the most popular food brands in China, including KFC, Taco Bell, and Pizza Hut.
What's the best way to deal with adversity is to stay calm, protect ourselves.
That protection continues outside of the restaurants. Food delivery, also about keeping your space.
This is what happens here. They leave it there. He tells me I can go. I move in, pick up the food, and head home to eat. And as soon as you get your food, you'll notice on top of the receipt is this little card. It has two different types of readings on it. The temperature reading of the person who prepared your food, along with their name, and the name and temperature reading of the person who delivered your food.
Saturday, health officials in Washington state confirmed the first death in the United States from the coronavirus. The CDC says it may be a case of community spread, not travel-related. Fears of a widespread outbreak across the country are growing. Retailers like CVS and Walgreens say they've noticed increased demand for hand sanitizer, cleaning wipes, and face masks. President Trump says he will meet with pharmaceutical companies on Monday to talk about developing a vaccine. He says the administration is prepared.
Tremendous amounts of supplies are already on hand. We have 43 million masks, which is far more than anyone would have assumed we could have had so quickly.
Vice President Mike Pence is heading the White House coronavirus response. Saturday, he announced new travel restrictions for Iran and an advisory for parts of Italy and South Korea.
The president today has authorized the State Department to increase the travel advisory for Americans to level 4. We are urging Americans to not travel to the areas in Italy and the areas in South Korea that are most affected by the coronavirus.
The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention says the best way to combat coronavirus is by washing your hands thoroughly with soap and water. I'm Melissa Rainey reporting.
Now we have detected the first case, which is coming from Iran, which is unfortunately becoming one of the affected countries. And we believe that, because of this effect in Iran, we have all this effect now in the region. And we see it's becoming a widespreading virus in the entire world. But we made ready everything, all the health care facilities to receive the cases if we had, God forbid, but also making sure to isolate them away from the society and not to have the country to be affected widely with it.
What's the government's view at the moment of how bad the impact of this can be globally? Economically, Qatar's an important airline hub. The country's helped make itself a tourist destination as well. What do you see the bigger scale impacts, not just you, regionally, globally? How big do you assess this can be?
Definitely there will be an impact, which we start to see in the past few days and weeks. And we have seen an impact on the financial markets, we have seen an impact on the travel market, on the oil, on everything in all the aspects. But we believe will be a cycle, which is because the virus itself, it limits the travel, it limits, it shut a lot of workplaces, a lot of manufacturing plants, which affect the performance of the companies. But this is not going to last forever. I mean, for sure, there will be a time where we see a containment of the virus and a way to defeat it, and also we will see the market ramping up again.